in order to learn how to fly a helicopter, you got to have about 200 hours to be a commercial helicopter pilot in order to be able to fly like as a job like I do.
Yeah.
And it's about $700 an hour to learn how to fly one of these helicopters. So I got mine paid through the VA because I was a military veteran.
Yeah.
But there's people who have to pay for it all out of their own pocket, and you're looking at $100,000 to $150,000 in flight time. So it gets real expensive. The pedals here are controlled by my feet, and they control the tail rotor. So they change the pitch of the tail rotor in order to increase the airflow or decrease it. The tail rotor is basically there to counter the torque that is added to the main rotor system from the engine to keep us going. So Newton's law says that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when we try to spin the blades one way, the body of the helicopter wants to spin in the opposite direction. So the tail rotor is to stop that from happening. So we control that with the pedals. And then the cyclic controls the direction of the main rotor and what way we're tilting that in order to turn or go forward, backwards, you know, both ways or whatever. And then the collective in the middle increases.
Is it okay if you open and show us?
Yeah. Oh,
all right, all right. Grand Rapid.
So the collective's here on my left hand, and you drive from this side over here, so it's this lever here. And that increases the pitch of the blades and makes us go up and down. So
how about that
this
screen?
is the
what's that?
The gauges.
The gauges.
Yeah, so there's the vertical speed indicator, so what we're going up and down is going to tell us how fast we're going up and down.
Which one?
The top one. So this is the vertical speed indicator. It tells us how fast we're going up or down. The altimeter tells us what altitude we're at in mean sea level, which is above sea level. So the altitude here is 600 feet. We have to subtract that from whatever our altimeter is telling us so that we can figure out how high we are above the ground. This is a heading indicator, so it tells us what direction we're pointing.
Which one? That one?
This one right here. So it's kind of like a compass. Airspeed indicator tells us how fast.
So you have to follow you have to follow that one when you're flying. The compass. You have to follow the compass?
I don't have to follow it, no, because I know the direction of where we're going. So here in town, I'm just going to like downtown Grand Rapids or whatever. So I know how to get there just by visually flying it. So I don't. But when we do like cross countries and stuff like that, we do use the heading indicator or the magnetic compass, which is up here. And so airspeed indicator tells us how fast we're traveling through the air. The engine tachometer, the rotor tachometer. So the engine, how fast the engine is spinning basically, and this is in percentage. So, and then our rotor system. And manifold pressure is telling us how much power we're pulling from the engine.
How much power? That one.
So.
How about down here?
Down here, this is showing us if the battery is charging or losing power basically. So if our alternator is working, PSI is the oil pressure of the engine, fuel gauges here and here. So this is the aux tank, this is the main, and then the cylinder head temp and the oil temperature. And then just a clock so that you can.
How about this one?
This?
Yeah, this.
This is the cyclic. So the cyclic can go forward, back, tilts the disc of the main rotor system, and we can like turn to the left by going that way, and it tilts to the left, and then to the right, forward and back.
And here?
This is the collective. So as I raise this up, it increases the pitch of the blades, and the helicopter goes up and down.
Is there a big difference between these small ones and then the Boeing? Is there a big difference?
So the helicopter principles are all the same as far as operations go, but the engines are different. So this is a piston engine like a car would have, and a bigger helicopter is going to have a turbine engine that is ran off of a different fuel and different principle. It doesn't have pistons going in and out. It has impellers.
Is it a must you're supposed to wear the headphones?
Yeah, the headset is so that we can listen to the radio and know where people are, and listen to tower, talk to tower if we're in a controlled airspace. And so yeah, we listen to those. It also makes it easier for us to communicate inside the helicopter because the helicopter is kind of noisy, so it deafens some of the noise and makes it easier for us to communicate inside.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been flying helicopters for 3 years and airplanes for 8.
What?
Yeah.
You're a pro. Oh my God. So what are the challenges you faced in this job? Is there any challenge?
Becoming a helicopter pilot is pretty hard. There's a lot of book knowledge that you have to know, and it has to all be memorized. Like you can't really reference your books when you're in the air and you got an issue that you got to take care of or whatever. You can't just pull out your book and really reference it. And so you have to kind of have it all memorized and know exactly how it all works. So that was one of the biggest problems for me is the book work. Flying the helicopter is hard at first, but it becomes second nature after doing it for a little while.
Like some people fear when you start flying, people have that fear.
I've never really been afraid of flying.
Okay.
I don't really worry about death either. I mean, I was in the Army, so
Okay.
I got used to the fact that death is a probability when I was in the Army. So
It's not.
the fear of heights doesn't really scare me too much.
Okay. So you're not scared?
No.
You're not scared?
No. What's the worst that happens? I go meet Jesus. I'm gonna meet him someday, right?
Even if you fly, even if you don't fly, you'll meet him one day.
One day.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I have a full career as a helicopter pilot and retire, and it happens when I'm 90 years old or something, But
Okay.
maybe a meteor crashes into the Earth and we all go tomorrow. Who knows?
Okay. How much could it be?
This is a Robinson R44, and brand new, they sell for about $650,000, depending on how you equip them and everything. But a used one can go from anywhere between like $300,000 to $500,000.
Okay. So your last word for the people who want to do what you do?
It's expensive.
It's expensive?
So in order to learn how to fly a helicopter, you got to have about 200 hours to be a commercial helicopter pilot in order to be able to fly as a job like I do.
Yeah.
And it's about $700 an hour to learn how to fly one of these helicopters. So I got mine paid through the VA because I was a military veteran.
Yeah.
But there's people who have to pay for it all out of their own pocket, and you're looking at $100,000 to $150,000 in flight time. So it gets real expensive. You can get your private pilot's license for about 50 hours, and you're probably looking at I don't know, $60,000 or something like that.
Oh my God, it's a bit expensive.
It's real expensive.
Very expensive.
Yep.
Oh my
So
God.
that's the hardest part, is the funding of becoming a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
But if you join the United States military, you can
That's the only cheapest way.
Get the VA to pay for it all for you.
But if you're funding it, sponsoring it by yourself, it's a bit expensive.
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah, you can fly the 2-seater version of this if you're
So this version is for 3?
This is a 4-seater.
4-seater?
Yep. And then they have a 5-seater, which is the R66.
Okay.
Which has a turbine engine, so a little bit more powerful engine than this one. But there's a 2-seater version, which is the R22. And you can learn how to fly in one of those.
Yeah.
And they're like $350 to $400 an hour. So it saves you a little bit of money on all of your flight time, but you got to be a little lighter too. You got to be under like 220 pounds to fly in one of those. The max is 300 pounds. So if you're over 300 pounds, you really can't be a helicopter.
Any school you would recommend somebody to
What's that?
Any school you would recommend somebody to go to?
A school that I would recommend somebody to go to?
Yeah.
So there's SUU, which is a really big helicopter school. I went to a school up in Duluth, Minnesota called Lake Superior Helicopters.
Okay.
And it was paired through the college there, so Lake Superior College. They do an associate's degree program that I was able to use my GI Bill for, and that's why I went there.
Okay.
There is like random schools at local airports that have somebody that has a helicopter that does some flight instruction. There's a few here in Michigan I know of, but they weren't able to use the GI Bill to pay for it. So I would have had to pay for it all out of my own pocket, which I can't afford to do.
All right. So, when you hear African, what comes into your mind?
Honestly, it seems more scary, just due to what they show us here.
Yeah, true.
And I'm assuming that there's probably lots of good people there, just like there is here.
Yeah.
And they probably play it out that way so that we don't want to go there or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Your
not
name?
a problem. My name's Ryan.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Nice meeting you.
You as well.